12:11.
It's actually my house.
And Sue, you want to do the attendance?
Board Member Yankovic,
Yes.
Board Member Doyle,
I'm here.
Board Member Altough,
Here.
Board Member Larkin,
Present.
Board Member Lonick,
Here.
Board Member McClure, Board Member Springer,
Here.
and Chair Reagan.
Here. And approval of the agenda. Need a motion for
Make the
that?
motion.
Mike Springer, is there a second?
Second.
April, any discussion or changes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Public comments for items not on the agenda? If not, we'll move on to the reason for the meeting, sidewalk funding.
Oh, good afternoon. Let's go back and do a little history. Back in August, July, August, we talked about doing an inspection of all the DDA sidewalks, and we put together a list of those sidewalks that need to be repaired, and I put a list in front of you. I have worked over the last month or so trying to get hold of a contractor, which if any of you know, getting hold of a contractor, especially a concrete contractor, lately is very difficult. So I've asked Epic, who did the last sidewalk repairs and also did the work for MDOT, to give us a quote to extend their contract, basically to do additional sections of walk in the DDA area. And so the reason of our meeting this afternoon is to ask for funding to approve additional sidewalk replacement within the DDA area. And I want to point out a couple of things in your packet too. I listed every address that we inspected, that we found some walk that needed to be repaired, and listed whether it was a 5x5 walk or a 5x5 drive walk, which is a little bit thicker. But there was one section in the DDA that was drive approach. And so that is the Veterans Parking Lot drive approach, and needs to be repaired. And so I threw that in there for your consideration as well. And then one other thing I want to point out to you also is the Trombley chiropractic, which you folks approved last time to do, but because MDOT's permit would not allow Epic to work down as far as Trombley's parcel, we did not do that section, but we're going to include it in this section, which the MDOT permit will include all of that section of Main Street from one end of the project limits to the other. And then finally, the last thing I included too was the deficiency criteria for sidewalks that we use as a guideline for establishing whether or not the sidewalk is in need of replacement. Overall, the sidewalk system in the DDA looks pretty good. That's my impression. It's fairly flat, not really broken up too much, but we were able to find at least this quantity that needed to be replaced. But overall, I think the system's in pretty good shape. Any questions?
I know it seems like part of the discussion last time was, I don't know these addresses by heart, but make sure they're all in the DDA district, because Avery, is that, that block is included?
Yes, prior to today's meeting, I referenced the addresses with the DDA map, which I have here too, if you want to see that.
Okay.
And I did double check to make sure everything was within the district. I did remove one from the list that Scott had included, so.
And were some of them by the car dealers?
Yes.
And are they okay putting a curb in there, or is there any, do they drive the cars up and down that curb? Is there going to be, can you make it graded, or is that not something our MDOT wants, or?
I did not look at it from a curb standpoint. We might have mentioned that last time, and it was my fault for not including that. But we can look at it and possibly add it, because there may be some additional funding left over here. I'm asking you to approve an amount that does not exceed the $34,000, which it won't take quite the $34,000 to do the project. So we may be able to include some of the curb work.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, my understanding is this is not budgeted in the DDA budget, so if you did approve it, we would need to make a recommendation to council to amend the DDA budget to allow to do this.
Okay.
My one concern about it, we're gonna go and we're gonna fix these things here, but in front of the old Fritz Bait Shop, the sidewalk is like this, and it's awful hard for somebody to drive a handicapped scooter down Main Street, either side. And I was just wondering if maybe we could include that in that, at least one side, because the car dealerships, you know, we're gonna have to address that at some time, but they've got asphalt and everything. And if at least one side of the sidewalk was so that someone could get down through there with a handicap cart or a wheelchair, it would make it a lot easier for them.
Is that addressed on here or not?
I'm not familiar with what Fritz Bait Shop is, so if you
Oh,
can
it would
describe it to
be,
me.
Yeah.
what, I don't know which agency it is now, is.
Kind of across the street from Mid-Fusion, like that?
Yeah, it's right in, it's in that block,
Okay.
On the
north side.
On the north side of the street. I don't think we had anything in the, I think that's the 200 block of,
I know it might not be chipped or cracked or, but it's like, it's so steep that it's really hard to walk.
well, I will say that we have this efficiency criteria, which we refer to. It does not really give us much specifics on ADA slope. So Scott was evaluating everything based on these criteria. And in future inspections, I think we should include something that says, does it comply with ADA slope, which would be a cross slope of 2%, which is the maximum, and a forward slope of 8%, which is the maximum. So it may not be chipped or settling or anything, and so it didn't get on this list because of the criteria that Scott was following, which is 1 inch or broken up by 25%, something like that.
How was this criteria chosen?
This was established before I was here, and so this was something Scott was working off of, but as I move forward, I'm going to change it so that it includes the ADA criteria.
Is this list both red and yellow?
This
It's just
would
red.
be, I would look at this more as the red list, because most of it does comply with at least the 1 inch offset or cracked in a certain way. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the criteria in terms of the red, yellow, and green.
If you're gonna go back and re-look at it with ADA, shouldn't you do that now before we spend the money?
I was trying to get this project squeezed in before the end of the fiscal year, excuse me, the end of the season, so that we already had a contractor we were working with. So I was just trying to get it all squeezed in for the end of the construction year, which is going to be tight anyway. This contractor may not be able to get to everything still this year.
So that shouldn't be right.
That's your call.
What's your intention for next year?
Well, the inspection's done. I can certainly bid it out. You might get a higher number, you might get a lower number. The inspection's already done, so we can wait or we can move forward.
No, but if we move forward on this, let's say this happened this year, what would you anticipate next year to look like?
In terms of revising the standard,
No, just what would the workload be? Would you anticipate that there's some sidewalk restoration or improvement every year? And is it nominally this many square feet every year to try and address? You know, if this project got done, would you not be possibly looking at even doing any for another 3 years to try and address the continuation aspect of it?
so Scott did inspect the entire DDA section. So if we did resolve these things, we probably wouldn't have to do anything for another 3 more years. And we would just continue the inspection process and maybe come back to you in 3 to 5 years. Overall, the sidewalks look pretty good in the DDA, in my opinion.
If this were approved today, you said it might be tight to get it all done, but 90% of it, and what I'm trying to get to is there any chance of including the rest of, doing a little more thorough advanced evaluation, get it done in this season also?
Well, it's going to be tough, I think, anyway, with the oncoming of winter, the contractor's workload. It's going to be a stretch. We certainly, if we looked at it again with revised criteria, we would add more to it based on just even what the mayor said, with cross slopes not being really up to par.
Okay, any other questions for Rich?
If we did approve this, there's not too much of this that's on here that it wouldn't be ADA compliant, right? You know, the parts that you're doing,
Well, to be ADA compliant, we're really looking at cross slope and
Right.
and forward slope, so.
Right.
In general, I think there's not a lot that's out of compliance, other than some of the stuff you might have pointed out.
Right.
Overall, I think it's pretty flat.
But we're not gonna, that's not on the list anyway, so,
Right.
so we wouldn't be, that's what I'm saying. We wouldn't be, I was just saying that that's something that we should plan on.
Or is the question you're asking, we're not going to put anything in that under different criteria, next year we'll have to take it out and put it back in.
Right, that's what I.
So everything new, everything included here will end up being ADA compliant.
Yes.
That'd be a smart way to look at, prioritizing which ones, if you think that's a borderline one, maybe hold off and doing it, rather than get it torn up in another year, because I'm sure when MDOT came through town here, they did every one of the intersections with new sidewalks because of the new ADA compliant. So I'm kind of wondering, going forward, every intersection down the other direction. Of course, they did all the intersections all the way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, within their
We wouldn't be responsible for that, but what about driveways and things like that? Who's responsible for that? Is that something that DDA has to do, or is it private property or business? Is that something the business owner does?
I guess that's a standard that we can set. If you want to include drive approaches in the DEA, then that's one
Opens a
thing.
can of worms, then.
Yeah, it is a can of worms, you're right. But if you want to set that standard, we can certainly go
I
that.
don't want to set standard,
Okay.
or set the precedent too.
Right,
you
exactly.
know, so. Okay, what's the favor of the board?
Question for Sue. Sue, even though this is not a specific budget line item, don't we have a budget line item for capital or something that
Yes, I
has
think you
room?
got 75,000 in capital outlay, so the only appropriated amount right now is 13,000 for Lowell Arts that has not been paid. And your current cash balance is 547,000, so.
So to address that, is it accurate to say then it's not necessary to revise the budget to execute this?
I would say so. I wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Brian made a motion and seconded by Dean.
Not to exceed 34,047.25.
That's exactly what Brian said.
He's on my bad side.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Reports and member comments.
Thank you.
Anything? The only thing I'll throw out there is, the Art Council did, redoing their building, and they asked for 13 grand for their handicap ramp, and it's not done. And I think Sue called me up and asked if we should give them a check before it's done.
Well, they asked for it.
They asked for it, and I said, no, it's not done. So they wanted their money up front before it was done. I said, no, we've never done that before, so I said, hold it, and it's still not done, so, they'd like to have the money, and they got a big project, but they'll get paid when it's done.
Okay.
And this, anything else?
I got a happy.
Oh, yes.
It was really nice to look out the back of my shop on Girls' Night Out and see the lights in the parking lot. It just, it was packed and it was nice. Not too bright. What April and I were talking about, didn't look like a football stadium or a landing thing out there, but you could definitely see and get around and looked really good.
You shall be receiving an email today. Dick Went did a presentation to the West Michigan City Managers Group back in September regarding potential modifications to the DDA statute. They're going to be going into lame duck here relatively soon. And that's always a nightmare for local government because we don't know what they're going to do to us. And the talk right now is modifications to the DDA statute. One of the things they're talking about, which doesn't really pertain to us as much, is combining multiple authorities into one authority, multiple TIF districts into one district where we don't have that issue here, but it is going to require more reporting on our end, and I'm going to be providing you that slideshow.
Need any other comments from the board? Thanks
So
for-
are we not going to have the meeting next week then? So we have it this week?
Do we have anything major on the agenda that we can discuss today at all, or we need to modify our agenda? This is a special meeting for today.
Right.
Hey, Rich, do you have anything for the next meeting? It seems to me like you mentioned something about Christmas, something to do,
I
there's
think
another
that's,
item.
I'll give it to you as an informational type thing. We would like to mimic something that Kentwood has done, and that is to install a sleeve in the Riverwalk where we can put a cut tree next to Flat River Grill, because I've been getting a lot of complaints about the existing Christmas tree, and so she just revealed herself.
I don't know where you
No one else, we would have had no idea who it was.
So we have enough material, I think, on hand that we can install a sleeve that we can drop a live cut tree into and have it be our Lowell Christmas tree.
We already got the Christmas tree donated to from a business.
Is the one now dying?
The other one's dead.
April says it's dead.
Dead.
How do you cap the hole when there's no tree in it?
We have a, it's basically a cover, a small manhole cover, let's just say.
Flush?
Yep, so there'll be no trip hazard. That's my first and foremost concern. And then we will grab power from the existing tree and just put it on the ground to the new location.
What do you need from us?
I think we can cover it. I don't think it's going to be a big expense, so if anything, maybe some parts and supplies for electrical. I think other than that, we're good.
Want to do something with it?
Is this okay to go in this direction as a special meeting?
Technically, no.
Okay.
But is this something that we could just do with the purchasing policy and just approve it that way? Well, unless the board has an issue, I can just make the decision to do it.
All right, sorry to bring that up. I thought we were limited to one subject in this special meeting, so.
I think we kind of are.
Yeah.
So that's my intent anyways, just so as an information piece.
Okay. You need a motion or anything? No, so you're gonna make that decision.
I'll just take it.
Okay. So, next meeting, Ryan, do we need to meet in November? Okay,
Nothing on the
check with Liz on the, we already approved the Christmas tree wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all, yeah.
I don't think we have anything else.
Okay, so unless, next meeting will be in December then, we'll use this meeting, unless there's something major comes up, we need a special meeting. We'll adjourn with that caveat that we probably won't meet in November, okay? We need a motion to adjourn? Needs a motion? Brenner, is there a second?
Second.
Cliff, and any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Stay here.